Hey, resilient leaders. Well, we finally made it. Part 5 of the Peace Framework. E, execute with peace-driven performance. Now, today, I want to take a moment to talk about execution. What I found often is that where leadership gets exposed is during execution. Not in vision, not in inspiration, but what happens after the meeting ends, after the plan gets approved, after the excitement wears off of where we're going. I know for myself and probably for many of you, most leaders don't struggle to set goals. We're really good at that. Where we struggle is to sustain performance without burning out ourselves and our teams. And that's where peace is usually lost. See, execution without peace creates urgency, and urgency creates the pressure, and pressure over time creates exhaustion. Not because leaders don't care, not because the standards are too high, but because clarity gets replaced with hustle. Peace-driven performance isn't about softer leadership. It's about clear leadership, clear about priorities, clear about ownership, clear about what actually matters. Now, one of the things I've come up with is called the execution loop. And it has 4 different pieces to it. 1, clarity. 2, ownership. 3, accountability. And 4, recovery. Now, when all 4 are present, performance becomes sustainable. When one of them is missing, performance becomes really fragile. Now, let's break this down a little bit. Let's start with clarity. Clarity answers 2 questions every team is asking, even if they don't say it. What matters the most right now, and what does good actually look like? See, without clarity, teams work hard on potentially the wrong things. Leaders might have to step in to fix misalignment. Urgency replaces intention. Peace-driven leaders slow down here first. They don't assume clarity, they name it explicitly. All right, let's talk about number 2, ownership, where responsibility actually lives. Ownership is critical, and sometimes this is where leaders unintentionally lose peace. When ownership isn't clear, and you probably felt this before, leadership absorbs pressure, decisions get bottlenecked, and teams wait instead of act. Strong leaders don't own everything. They ensure ownership lives with the person closest to the work, not the person highest on the org chart. Ownership frees leaders from constant intervention and also frees teams to step up. 3rd, accountability, reinforcing standards without fear. Accountability is where leadership tone matters the most. Peace-driven accountability doesn't sound like pressure. It sounds like clarity. It sounds like this. Here's what we agreed success looks like. Here's what I'm seeing. What support or adjustments is needed to close the gap? No drama, no avoidance, no threat, just alignment and follow through. See, fear-based accountability creates compliance. Clarity-based accountability builds commitment. And lastly, number 4, recovery, protecting energy so performance can repeat. This is the most overlooked part of execution. See, recovery isn't laziness, it's leadership discipline. And you might have felt this before. Without recovery, burnout becomes normalized, performance spikes, and then it collapses. Leaders confuse endurance with effectiveness. Peace-driven leaders protect rhythm, not just results. Because sustainable execution isn't about intensity, it's about repeatability. Now, earlier in my leadership journey, I thought strong execution meant personal endurance. If something slipped, I stepped in. If clarity broke down, I absorbed it. If momentum slowed down, I pushed harder. It worked until it didn't. What I realized was uncomfortable. I wasn't creating high performance. Let's face it, what I was really creating was dependence. Peace-driven execution required a different posture, holding the standard without carrying the load, creating clarity without controlling every single step along the way, trusting others to execute with clear boundaries. Once I did this, execution improved when I stopped confusing responsibility with control. Now, that's the framework. Now, if this framework resonated with you, I want to invite you into something deeper. I'm opening a limited sneak peek of my Peace Bootcamp Saturday, February 28th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time. Now, this experience is designed for leaders ready to lead with clarity under pressure, hold standards without burning out, and build sustainable performance rooted in trust, not fear. This is not a lecture, it's a working session. And participation is limited to 10 leaders so we can create real dialogue, practical application, and honest leadership reflection. If you're carrying too much, rescuing outcomes, feeling like performance depends on your constant presence, this is for you. Lastly, as always, if my messages resonate with you, follow me, share, as well as consider joining the Peace Bootcamp sneak peek as your next step. Lastly, I want to say a few things. 1, peace isn't passive, it's practice. And when practiced consistently, it becomes performance that lasts. Thank you and stay resilient.